Right now, AI is generating code that passes every test, runs perfectly in production, and absolutely nobody understands how it works. It's a massive organizational liability, and it's exactly why the era of the simple AI chatbot is officially over. For the last couple of years, we've been stuck in the era of non agentic chatbots. You type a prompt, you get an answer. It's bounded by training data, and the second you close the tab, it forgets who you are.
Why isn't this working? I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. This is so frustrating. Please rephrase your question.
But we are currently in the middle of a massive paradigm shift in computing. We are moving away from monolithic LLMs and transitioning into compound multi-agent systems. These aren't just chatbots, these are autonomous agents that can plan long-term, query live databases, and break down complex tasks without you ever having to hold their hand. So, how do these autonomous systems actually work? It comes down to the 5 levels of system intelligence. We started at level 1 with simple, pre-programmed if-then rules, but we are rapidly approaching level 5, learning agents. These are systems that continuously ingest new experiences to operate in totally unfamiliar environments. Here's where it gets interesting. Instead of one AI trying to do everything, multi-agent architectures use a team. When you give the system a goal, it hits a shared state memory. From there, a search agent might use the Tvili API to fetch live URLs. Then a reader agent uses something like Beautiful Soup to scrape the deep HTML. Finally, a writer agent drafts reports, while a critic agent instantly scores it and demands improvements. But for an agent to be truly autonomous, it needs to remember. To solve context amnesia, these systems use something called a dreaming engine. It runs light sleep cycles in the background, writing diary entries and using confidence scoring to promote short-term observations into durable, long-term memory. Because of all this, prompt engineering is dead. Look at the engineering stack. Prompt engineering is just a fragile, cracking surface layer. Beneath it is a massive 7-skill human stack. System design, tool and contract design, retrieval engineering. Prompt engineering is the recipe. Agent engineering is being the chef. To actually build this, you need to architect an agent backend supported by 3 massive pillars. Pillar 1 is system design, orchestrating the precise data flow between LLMs, APIs, and databases without creating infinite loops. Pillar 2 is tool and contract design. You have to enforce strict input and output schemas. Vague contracts allow for LLM hallucination. And in financial or production systems, LLMs that hallucinate introduces catastrophic errors. Pillar 3 is retrieval engineering, or RAG. You have to perfect the context window using document chunking and secondary re-ranking so your agent gets a pristine signal and not just noise. But building it isn't enough. You have to harden the system for production because APIs fail. It's a fact. So your agents need back-end resilience, retry logic with exponential backoff, timeout limits, and circuit breakers to stop cascading failures. You also have to remember that the agent is a brand new attack surface. You need strict validation against prompt injections and rigid permission boundaries based on the principle of least privilege. Finally, you have to trace every single tool call and decision branch. Establish baseline metrics for latency and cost per task. Because here is a hard truth about AI. Vibes don't scale, but the metrics do. But even with a perfect back end, this massive increase in AI speed introduces a terrifying new problem. When you combine unprecedented deployment velocity with AI code generation, comprehension completely decouples from authorship. You get dark code, code running your systems that no human really understands. The antidote to dark code is spec-driven development. You force understanding before the code even exists. The specification document becomes the absolute evaluation criteria, and the AI agent iterates it until it passes the exact parameters of the spec. In fact, following a severe system outage, leading tech giants had to completely rebuild their internal coding tools specifically around this spec-driven approach to prevent the unchecked AI. You also have to implement comprehension gates. And this is wild. The AI actually asks human reviewers principal engineer level questions. Why did you cache this here? To ensure the human architect fundamentally understands the trade-offs before approving the code. This is driving real-world ROI right now. In software, it means autonomous vulnerability detection. In IT and ops, it's 24/7 predictive server maintenance. In business, it's automated invoice filtering. And in telecom, it's powering self-healing networks that optimize smart grids without any human intervention. Here is the bottom line. The shift from monolithic LLMs to multi-agent systems is pretty much complete. Chatbots are legacy now. Goal-driven autonomy is the new baseline. To survive, we have to upgrade human talent from prompt crafters to full-stack system designers capable of enforcing strict API contracts. We have to embrace the unprecedented speed of AI generation. But we cannot substitute human process for agents. We need enterprise guardrails. We need transparent activity logs, unique cryptographic identifiers for absolute traceability, and graceful interruption kill switches for the human overrides. Build agents that act autonomously but demand that they write code we can fundamentally understand.